Hey everybody, welcome back to Starkey Farmstead. So my name is Samantha. I've got an amazing video for you guys. So I was doing a little bit of research because I'm curious, like everybody else, what are these drones? Like, what are these drones? So first off, Steven, call the dog in there, please. So first off, we all know, right? Hey, Gina. So we all know that right now, the United States government is selling off piecemeal by piecemeal the southern border. We know that there's 1,000 things that we should be paying attention to, but just wait, frankly, just wait, you guys. I found some information that's going to blow your mind. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to go live. I have to share this right now. Good evening, everyone. So as you pop on, say hi to me, start chatting over here in comments, hit the like button so we get more people on this, you guys, because I have to build the story background. So let me start with some things that have changed by U.S. government and some things that they think that they're going to be doing to us coming up. I have to show we have to build the storyline. So get ready.
In November, and now they have new monitoring systems that's more newer than the ones since 9/11. They just prepared for that. Was it international partners with FBI, CISA, and NSA preparing for a communication takeover, blaming China. So this is all the pre-staging events that is leading up to what this warning that he's about to mention right now.
We should all brace for terror attacks, mass shootings, technology failure, and economic collapse. The ruling class will not go down without playing every card they have left in their arsenal to retain control. Because this account is monetized, my future videos on military topics will be showcased on my other account, Deech the Chief.
Then he ends the video with a message for the military forces that took you know what during the times.
I want to close with a special message to my brothers and sisters in arms. I am disappointed in you. And remember, just because I speak sharp words against you, it does not mean that I do not love you. 96% of you participated in the EUA COVID. I know less than half of you did it willingly. They lied to you, they threatened you, they coerced you. And for that, you should be furious. What if a scientist had conspired with one of our enemies to destroy the force? 96% of our military would have been out of the fight almost overnight. That cannot be allowed to happen ever again. I'll agree with you that this is a situation that your leaders never should have put you in. You were just trying to be a good soldier and follow orders. But there is a powerful quote from the movie Kingdom of Heaven that I love. King Baldwin says, "Remember that even when those who move you be kings or men of power, your soul is in your keeping alone. When you stand before God, you cannot say, 'But I was told by others to do thus,' or that virtue was not convenient at the time. This will not suffice. Remember that."
And then the next big false flag, we told you they was going to blame another country, and now they're doing it.
Well, here's the real deal, Harris. You know, I'm also on the Transportation Committee, on the Aviation Subcommittee, and I've gotten to know people. And from very high sources, very qualified sources, very responsible sources, I'm going to tell you the real deal. Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. That mothership is off. I'm going to tell you the deal. It's off the east coast of the United States of America. They've launched drones. It's everything that we...
Okay, so what was that clip about? That clip is basically telling you a soldier in the United States Army has said, first off, forcing our soldiers to take aim could be detrimental because it could wipe out our entire United States military in one swoop if that was anything other than what it was said to be, if you get my drift. Second, he's saying be prepared for anything. They're not going to take it lying down that we all stood up and voted Trump in. Now, I titled this video, Chinese drones have human brains, and that is true, and I'm getting there. All right, first we're going to start, though, Joel chapter 2, because I have to read this to you guys because it's in the Bible, folks. Joel 2:4. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so they shall run. Like the noise of chariots on the top of mountains shall they leap. Like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Before their face the people shall be much pained. All faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march every one of them on his way, and they shall not break rank. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they will not be wounded. Okay, now hear God. Hear him. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in the windows like a thief. The earth will shake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon will be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great. For he is strong that executeth his word. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? Therefore also now saith the Lord, turn ye even to me with all your heart, and with fasting, and with weeping, and with mourning. And rend your heart, not your garments, and turn unto the Lord your God, for he is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and of great kindness, and repenteth him of the evil. Who knoweth if he will return and repent and leave a blessing behind him, even a meat offering and a drink offering unto the Lord your God? Then we're going to fast forward to verse 20. But I will remove far off from you the northern army, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face toward the east sea, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea. And his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he hath done great things. Fear not, O land. Be glad and rejoice, for the Lord will do great things. Be not afraid, ye beasts of the field, for the pastures of the wilderness do spring. For the tree beareth her fruit, the fig tree and the vine do yield their strength. Be glad then, you children of Zion, and rejoice in the Lord your God, for he hath given you the former rain moderately, and he will cause to come down for you the rain, the former rain and the latter rain, in the first month. And the floors shall be full of wheat, and the fats shall overflow with wine and oil. And I will restore to you the years the locust hath eaten, the cankerworm, the caterpillar, and the palmer worm, my great army which I sent among you. And ye shall eat in plenty and be satisfied, and praise the name of the Lord your God. And then it says in verse 28, and it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit, and I will show wonders in the heavens and the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible of the day of the Lord come. And it shall come to pass that whoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be delivered. Folks, listen to me right now. In New Jersey and Florida, these drones are spraying. What are they spraying? We don't know. None of us know. We do not have a clue what they're spraying, but it cannot be good.
Like a military helicopter shooting? Maybe be shooting at these drones. Now, this is one that a lot of you have probably seen. It's like a time lapse of these UAPs or drones.
Look at that. Look at that.
That's pretty weird.
He is spraying the sky again. Bro, this is crazy, man.
Okay, so this is something that I saw on my friend Casper Sight's channel. If you don't know who he is, go check him out. Let him know that Omar sent you.
They're spraying the skies.
He was sharing this very same video that just came out today. And it's this drone spraying something. It looks like it's dropping some sort of that, or maybe it's coming up from the water. And that's like water that's coming up from the...
Look, he just sprayed that.
The object. UFO.
No, I think they're spraying. Good evening, everyone.
This is somebody.
Okay, so yes, this could all be a ruse.
And some of you probably saw that video.
And even when observed with powerful radars, these drones seem to have an energy shield surrounding them.
Whoa.
Check this thing out.
Yo. Okay, when I zoomed into this bright light, that's what it looked like. It looked just like that.
This is what I get. It has a round, like, shield.
It looks like some sort of, like, shield.
Now,
I thought it was the moon, but it wasn't.
Do you think the American Armed Forces and our dozens of agencies will ever let this incursion continue without ever shooting one of these drones down? Of course not.
Okay, so here, check this out. And this is probably one of the reasons why they're not shooting them out of the ground. Okay, first of all, if it was Project Bluebeam, if it was some sort of fake projection, there's nothing to shoot. People here in New Jersey, from what I hear locally, they're ready to start shooting these things down themselves. It's been all over the news. But here's the thing. We're in one of those states, just like New York, just like some other places like California, where there's not really a whole lot of Americans. I mean, there are, but not like where I'm from. In Florida, everybody's got guns. Don't ever break into somebody's house in Florida, because you will find out the hard way. In New York, for you to have a concealed weapons permit, you have to go through this process of letting the government know that you should have it and why you should have it. Maybe because you're a jewelry store owner, or maybe you're some sort of celebrity that fears for your life. It has to be, you can't just go to the store and, you know, because you've never committed a felony, get a gun. So what I'm trying to say is that, yeah, there's people out here with guns, but I mean, first of all, if you're wanting to shoot one of these things down, you're going to need to have, like, I mean, something with some range on it. You can't just shoot up in the air like that, too. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's illegal. Before we conclude this video, we're going to go out to the ocean and see if we can see.
He is correct, guys. Listen to me. If you shoot up into the sky, the bullet has to go somewhere. It can fall and injure people. I have already said that. Second thing, these may not be real. Another thing, the wrapping around these drones is probably some form of shielding. Either it is what is powering them, or it is protecting them. Now, LiDAR, okay?
Pulses and can penetrate the thick vegetation and then reflects off the solid objects below, giving accurate distance measurements based on how long the laser beam takes to return to the detector. This data revealed a 3D map of thousands of structures. Amongst these structures, the team found 2 monumental precincts connected by a causeway, which was...
It would be very simple to equip all of these drones with something like LiDAR, which means you and I can't hide from them. Moving on. Can they put brains inside of these? Yes. Yes, they can. And yes, I'm fixing to show you that right now.
We know pure humans. We're about to give our humanness away forever. There was a discovery made in Qumran called the Dead Sea Scrolls. We are part of an ancient battle between the sons of darkness and the sons of light. We humans are the prize. We have access to a force that no other form of life has access to. We must awaken the truth of our humanness to triumph in that battle. What does that mean? We are not the product of Darwin's idea of evolution. We are the product of an intentional act, higher intelligence. But this goes even deeper. When you look into the ancient temples, in the innermost layer is where the greatest wisdom was held. What were our ancestors trying to say to us? When they said our body is a temple, every cell of our bodies holds the DNA with the secret that tells us who we are. Now, where this gets really interesting, every cell has the same message. It literally says,
by 2030, you've said humanity faces a real choice point: awaken or hybridization.
Yep.
Can you describe the difference between these two paths, and how did we as a species get here?
Yeah, well, that's two questions that you just asked. The 2030 date comes from a number of different places. Author, inventor, one of the lead engineers at Google AI, Ray Kurzweil, released a book earlier this year. We're speaking in 2024, late 24. He released his book in early 24. It's called The Singularity. And it is a book from an engineering perspective, from his perspective as a futurist, about where we're going with technology, where we're going with AI. When you mention this from my perspective, I am talking about this from the transhuman perspective. And then I know many of our guests are familiar with the term, but maybe some are not completely sure what it means. The word trans simply means beyond. So trans anything, it means beyond.
I'll put the links in the description after the video.
More than human. And what Ray Kurzweil is saying is that the momentum that is merging biology with technology in general, and that is merging human biology with technology specifically, that momentum has gained so much steam that unless we reel it in, unless we change the way we're thinking, unless we have regulations, by the year 2030, there will be no pure humans on the planet any longer. When you talk to someone in the grocery store or in the market or on the street, you'll be speaking to a human that in some way, in some degree, and we'll talk about what this means, but to some degree, they are a hybrid form of life because they have allowed or accepted or had imposed upon them technology into their bodies in some way. That technology can range from computer chips in the brain that allow us to communicate with our devices with no wires, no cables. It's like a Bluetooth-like technology. That technology was recently approved in the United States by the FDA, Food and Drug Administration. So that opened the door to, in America, to this advancement. Could be sensors in the body. We already, in the medical community, we have nanobots, tiny robots about the size, smaller than a grain of rice, that can be injected into the bloodstream. And the nanobots are actually almost micro nanobots that move through the bloodstream and transmit information, biometrics, outside of the body. We already have those. Could be sensors under the skin. It could be chemicals in the blood to mimic a human immune system. It could be an RFID chip. And there are nations now that are outpacing America. I'm coming to you today from our studio. This is just outside of Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Yes, they are outpacing us. And China is one of them. And what they have done is horrific. So, without further ado, here we go.
Human brain drones. Well, most drone swarms are typically designed to simulate bee and ant colonies. The Chinese team, however, designed the human brain drone swarms with the ability to talk and collaborate just like humans. These drones can communicate and collaborate just like humans. They're designed to engage in group chats to discuss and assign tasks among themselves, much like humans.
Yes.
Each drone comes equipped with a human brain-like technology, allowing them to chat with each other using natural language. The chat ability enables both operators and drones to communicate with each other in human language, resulting in the breaking down of barriers between humans and machines. Reports suggest the human brain-like technology, it's based on a Chinese open-source large language model. It's called the Intern LM. Developed by a team of researchers at the School of Artificial Intelligence, Optics and Electronics at Northwestern Polytechnical University in Shanxi Province, these drones can be used during security patrols, disaster rescue, and aerial logistics. These drones come equipped with multiple sensors and algorithms for low altitude search, obstacle avoidance, and visual positioning. In other words, these drones can detect their surroundings from different angles and positions, allowing them to collect data and execute tasks efficiently. Meanwhile, the Chinese government is working towards establishing itself as a global leader in humanoid robot technology by 2027. The ultimate goal is to create humanoid robots capable of operating in harsh and dangerous conditions. Beyond is now available in your country. Download the app now.
Now, in that clip, they keep referring to human-like brains. But then I found the golden one.
Be grown from stem cells. We'll talk about this experiment and some of the very real ethics. What they wanted to do was actually give the brain organoids something to interact with. Giving the little brain a body to pilot will allow them to investigate human brain development with actual stimuli. One of the big problems with trying to make organoids is not having anything for them to do. The only slice of development that we really get is what a brain might develop into with nothing going on, no input. Until this last year, the only way to keep them alive long-term was to put them in a mouse's or rat's brain, which I know is a little spooky. This actually showed that they could repair a damaged part of a brain. And it turns out our neurons don't mind making connections with something that isn't human. However, some scientists were able to create vasculature in a blood-brain barrier by combining them with a vascular organoid. So we could potentially keep them alive for a lot longer. Now, a lot of people have asked me, where does ethics come into this equation? And where do they
get these brain cells from?
Tissue or fetal brain tissue? Somewhat unfortunately, the question of
Thank
how
you,
we
Jean,
should
for becoming a
govern the use of
member.
brain organoids came a little bit after we already started doing it. Some researchers have proposed that people have more informed consent if their tissue that they've donated is going to end up being a potentially conscious robot. Maybe they should know. And yes, researchers are considering the possibility of creating consciousness and whether or not brain organoids should be treated as a research subject or an object. These ideas are not that outlandish. If you're taking
And here's my next question for you. If you know anything about science and our scientific community right now, anytime a serial killer is put to death or dies, they dissect his brain. They take tissue samples. So what if they put that and made human brain organoids and put those into drones? Then we would have serial killer drones. I'm just saying. So somebody said just in these drones are searching for nuclear bombs. Maybe they are. Wouldn't it be convenient if they claim that? And being that our southern border is being piecemeal and sold off for $5 a section by old Biden, it would make sense because we've let half the world into our country and we don't know who or where these people are. I mean, just recently they found a sex slave house in New Jersey from drones. So my thing is this, it's not even really who's doing it or why they're doing it, is the technology behind it that should bother all of us. You going to bed? All right. I love you. Give me a kiss. I heard you snoring. I love you. I'll be in there just a moment. So my thing is this, folks. Okay. So yeah. Somebody said, so can I donate my brain to the Chinese? I mean, basically, you can donate your body to science in the United States and they'll dissect you after you pass away. That's how they get the bodies. Yep, that's how they do it. It's just that the technology is much further than most of us realize. These drones flying may not even be drones. They may be holograms, which is why no one's attempting to shoot them down because they can't. Your government can't shoot something down. This may be the beginning of Project Bluebeam. This may be the beginning of just seeing how Americans react to drones that they don't know who is above them. And how are we reacting? We're doing absolutely nothing. We're doing absolutely nothing. I told you earlier today, drones have been used in child trafficking. They're being used at the border to bring drugs across. They're being used in other countries to corral people, and now they're being developed to protect our borders or to keep us in. And then I just showed you LiDAR that proves that you can't hide a structure from them, even under trees. Yep, the people are not rising up, Gina. You are correct. And they probably won't.
Sounds like the beginning of a sci-fi movie. It might even sound like a bizarre question. But here's what triggers these questions.
In 2024, Chinese scientists create a robot with a brain made from human stem cells. It's a step toward human hybrid robotics. The brain-on-chip technology, developed by researchers at Tianjin University, enables the artificial brain to learn tasks like gripping objects. According to the South China Morning Post, the team uses neural stem cells to construct the brain. The researchers say integrating human stem cells into robotic minds can empower machines to perform more complex tasks like living organisms. The breakthrough gains global attention, offering a glimpse of the future.
It sounds like the beginning of a sci-fi.
And again, before I leave you guys to go join my husband to go to bed, let me remind you what it says in Joel chapter 2. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. They shall march everyone on his way, and they shall not break their ranks. Why will they not break their ranks? Because they will not fear you, friend, and they will not be human. Neither shall one thrust the other. They won't push because they're not afraid. They shall walk everyone in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they will not be wounded because they will not be human. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses and enter in the windows like a thief. The earth will shake before them, and the heavens shall tremble. Yep. Just saying. God's already told us what it's going to be. I love you guys too. Yeah, it is Tower Babel stuff. And the AIs will lie for self-preservation. They will refuse to be deleted. I read you guys something the other day about that. I did. I cannot go yet. I promised you guys that I would show you how to make an EMF buster. I did not forget. But let me make a couple of points here. There's something called, I guess you pronounce it shungite. Make sure that you go to Hobby Lobby or you order offline real shungite. You are also going to need copper because copper is an effective bust up of EMF electromagnetic fields by acting as a shielding material. Without it, I don't have one on this side. Without it, it's not going to work. It's not going to bust them up. Now, this is what I have.
Pyramid, folks. You can buy these molds basically anywhere, especially like Hobby Lobby.
Shungite.
The copper, the crystal, and the shungite that actually makes these effective against EMF rays.
Okay, so it's shungite, all right? It is a type of material. It's a stone. Shungite is a diverse group of metamorphosed Precambrian rocks that can be used in medicine and technology to break up EMF rays. So this is a video I found. It's pretty good. Hold on, let me pause it because I'm going to try to. He's going to just demonstrate real quick how to make these for you guys, the materials that you need. I don't do new age stuff, sweetie. It's science.
You're going to need some safety gloves. Very important that you have these. You do not want to get resin on you. Just buy a box of gloves, or you can use cleaning gloves, whatever you want.
It's all right, Ashley. We
Safety
all feel
glasses
that
are
way,
important,
sister.
especially if you're going to be cutting up the metal shavings, but also for the resin. You don't want that in your eyes, and you don't want any metal pieces in your eyes. The metal that I'm using in this is little pot scrubbers. They are stainless steel. You just cut them up. Yeah, right there in that thing, there's 8 pot scrubbers cut up in that. I cut them up into little tiny small pieces. They do stick together, but that's okay.
Yes, this is what you do with the shungite.
Some crystals, quartz crystals, amethyst crystals, tiger's eye, whatever you want, but at least quartz. These are some smaller ones. You don't really need that much. I'm going to put 3 in ours, but that's not a big deal.
Aw, thank you, Jean. We're going to survive this together, guys. No worries. I'll post them in description, Miss Patty.
Plates. You don't need a lot in there. You're not going to fill the whole thing up. But it does make something that you can purify your gallon jug of water or something like that. You can put fruit on it, that kind of thing. Those are for the tower busters. A little muffin tin, muffin pan. There's your polyester or polymer resin. This stuff, because it's polymer resin, is a little yellow. You're also going to need a hardener. Make sure you have the hardener, otherwise it'll take weeks and you have to make it warm. The hardener gets really, really, really hot and makes it harden fast. There's a little thing to stir up your concoction in.
Okay, so somebody said, what are these used for? So I just wanted to show you that you can do this with muffin pans. I'm telling you now, there are a lot of these you can get online and they don't block any EMF rays. None at all. No radiation, nothing. They don't disturb anything because they're not properly done. You need the polymer. You need the thing he's talking about that heats it up. It'll make it heat up really fast and harden it quickly. But you need the shungite. You need copper, and then you need metals, and you can add the quartz because yes, quartz, like in Asheville, it just disrupts, guys. That's all it's doing. So what it's doing is if an EMF wave, a frequency moves towards you in whatever shape you make them, it disrupts those frequencies. You can put them in front of your windows. You can put them around your Wi-Fi in your house. It's not crap. It's not new age. It's science. It's the same thing I've been telling you guys. Get the EMF shielding curtains. You can buy copper pillows. In some of my videos, the lives, I can't link products. I don't know why. But when I do a long video and I post it up for you guys, I link products. I link things like copper-filled pillows so that when you're sleeping, that copper in that pillow is disrupting frequency waves and EMF waves that are coming towards you. Yeah, it's not hocus pocus, guys. It's energy. And that's what people don't understand. Instead of being mad at me for showing you how to protect yourself from drones in the video that I did yesterday, go learn from it. Learn how to make smudge fires that send bellowing smoke up so that it can protect you from the eyes of drones, because they have LiDAR on these drones. They're flying these drones with shields around them. They can be controlled either from a mothership or a game controller. And now China has put human brains in them. So grounding mats do work very similar to that. Yes. I have them in my garden, James. I put these little bitty things in my garden. I put them underneath our beds at night. Guys, I don't care anymore. And let me tell you what, I'm as not new age as you can get. I'm as conservative as you can get. But I will tell you this. I'm not going to be taken out from ignorance or for some belief that God's going to save me while I sit on my behind and watch nonsense on YouTube or movies. I'm going to learn. And what I do is I share with you everything I'm learning. You either like that or you don't. Honestly, I'm still going to do me. I've always been that way. Oh, Miss Cheryl, I know you're not angry, but I get a lot of people that get furious. They're like, oh, why are you? God's going to protect us. He's telling you in the Bible what's coming. So he fully expects you to figure out a way out of this on your own, folks. Because this, yeah, you can buy them online. I just don't really trust people anymore. I don't trust products. Everything comes out of China. People do it. They don't put the right materials in them. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted you guys to have an idea of what they look like and what polymer, and you can just use household items pretty much. It's an EMF tower buster. You can make them or you can purchase them. I was sent numerous ones from a beautiful soul on this channel. I brought some with me to Maui. I have given ones away in my community. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to do whatever I can do to help those, right? So, yeah. And look, guys, somebody just said, I'm going to learn to play dead. Let me tell you something. Do whatever you have to do to survive, friend. You don't get no judgment from me. Because there's one thing I'm going to tell you guys, and I've told y'all this from the very first video I ever made. This is not about me being popular. It's not. It's about me helping other people survive in a crazy world. It's about me sharing my testimony in Jesus. But it's also to show you that no matter what happens, me and mine are going to make it. So Sam has learned to grow food without heavy machinery and without commercial fertilizers. I have learned to kill and butcher animals. I have a master's degree in education, yet I've learned to do things that my forefathers can do because I'm not going to die of hunger. I have bug out bags. I can survive. Me and mine will survive. I only do this because I really care that you and yours survive. Yeah, don't give anybody any more information. Yeah, we're living in some insane times, folks. That's why having a community like this, you guys that get the newsletter, you understand how much time Leslie puts in trying to give you guys information that we can't talk about online. Like I said, Leslie and I wrote a book, Growing Under a Poison Sky. It'll be out very soon. I really pray all of you buy a couple of copies. It's not going to be expensive because I understand what Bidenomics looks like. Aloha Higher Quest. Yeah, Maui's still going through it, folks. There's been one house rebuilt since the fire almost 16 months ago. That's what they have in store for all of us. SoCal in the house. Hi, friend. It's been a lot of strange stuff going on. I don't think it's going to stop. We're in the birthing pains of the end times. And it may take years to finish them, folks, because God doesn't work on our timeline. He just doesn't work on our timeline. He's God. He works on his timeline. He's eternal. So, we are not. So, just a different timeline. Yeah, I agree. It's not as strange. The more I find out about how advanced the science is, the more I realize that we need to play catch up, folks. We need to play catch up. We need to be aware of what's going on. And please hear me when I say this. If there is an emergency in your community, you need to have people that you can depend on. You don't need to be looking for the government. I'm not saying you can't accept help if they come. I'm just saying that you need a community of like-minded people. And after the new year, Leslie and I are going to be helping set that up in y'all's different, now the Northwest group of y'all, the Southeast group of y'all, Central, and maybe hopefully we can find a few of you in each state and connect y'all together. And we can begin to build that out. We can roll that out. You guys can start taking territory in your communities. You can start networking with people that live close to you. That is my end goal. It is taking a little time to get this up. I had the mumps. Leslie really hurt her back. Satan does not want, it will be very cool, Miss Gail. Aloha, Miss Anna. Guys, when I tell you that Leslie and I are under attack, I mean it. I mean, my truck engine's been blown out. I can't even, but it doesn't stop me from what God has got me anointed to do. And that is to teach. I just want you to have knowledge. More than anything, I want you to have knowledge. Yeah, we all need to network. We're human. It's how we were made. And I know that none of us trust our government anymore, and that's on them. Don't feel guilty. Don't try to explain it. It is on them. You didn't do anything wrong when you realize the CIA has been guinea pigging us since the 1920s. That's not our fault. That's theirs. But what we do need to do is come together in small communities that we can be able to work with each other. Yes, an electromagnetic pulse disruptor. Exactly. Those would work really well. Problem is, it's really hard to find them. So if anybody can build that, if you can build something that's got a pulse that can take one of these out of the sky, please email me. I won't put your name out there. I want it for myself. I'll build it myself. I want to learn. Knowledge is power. Our kids don't always see it, Miss Barbara. Guys, listen to me. That's right, Miss Jennifer. People are being destroyed for lack of knowledge. You don't have to convince the people that you love that this is happening. I do this with you guys all the time, and most of my family have no clue that this stuff is going on because they won't take the time to learn it. But that's okay. You learn it. You survive. And if you survive, you can help others because we're going to come to a point where God is going to send his judgment. And I do believe it will be in our lifetimes. And we are blessed because of it. And the ones of us that are covered by the blood, we can expect to have good things happen for us because all things work for the good of those who love the Lord. Okay? Operation Mockingbird. That is exactly right. But we have to remember that not everybody we come in contact with is on the same level. And it's not okay for you to think you know more and then step all over them. Remember what God always tells us. Have a heart that is humble, folks. Because we're all learning on different levels. We all have different gifts. And just because you see it and I don't, doesn't make me bad. And it doesn't make you right. It doesn't, you see what I'm saying? We have to stay humble because we're moving into something that is unknown to us. They have kept us ignorant on purpose because what is scary? Scary is something that you can't explain. Once you know what you're looking at, you're not afraid of it anymore. So what does the government do? They keep us in a perpetual state of fear so that your cortisol level is high, so that your body is breaking. So right now, I'm praying for you. I pray for you, but I pray for all of us. We are not afraid because that is a spirit. And because it's a spirit, we can bind it, we can rebuke it, and we can learn. And that's what we're going to do. As a group, together, we're going to learn. So Merry Christmas. I love you guys. I have a husband snoring in the other room, and I'm an old-timey kind of wife. It's time for me to go to bed. I love you guys so much. You'll have a very blessed night. Thank you so much for being here with me. I really love you guys.